Okay, so we are nearly done. Okay, we just have one more piece to add. What I would recommend at this stage right here is that you test your marble going down to make sure it doesn't get hung up in your loop. So you'll start it up here between the two supports. You'll run it down and it should pop out down here. If it's getting trapped inside the loop, that means that you need to create a more even, smooth bend to the loop so that it's not like jamming in like a wall, right? You don't want it to feel like it's hitting a wall and then it can't flow through the loop. So this is a good time to test it out. It should pop out the end and make any kind of corrections to your loop now, okay? If it's all running through smoothly, we can go ahead and add the last step. The last step is to add the curve. Okay, so if we look at the one that I've already made, right, the curve is going to form sort of a U shape and the marble will exit out over here, right? So there's often, I think, this idea like, hey, let's do it this way. It opens up really easy, looks a little bit like a sun. If we do it this way, we're actually going to go the other direction like this, okay? So it's going to fold in on itself. So the way we want to start this is just like the last time. We're going to take a piece of tape. You want a very smooth transition between the end of the loop and the beginning of your curve. So go ahead and overlap a single segment by putting a piece of tape on the curve section and then pressing firmly down on that inside the loop to create a nice smooth surface so that the marble won't get caught up on it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to curve it back around towards the start. And to do that, you're not just going to, woo, my marble on a run. You're not just going to be able to go like that and call it a day, okay? It's going to also need to have a very smooth bottom surface in order for the marble to not get hitched up. So what you want to do is you want to kind of lay each segment on top of each other slightly as you roll it around in a circle. So almost creating almost like a fan, I know my hand's in the way, creating a fan-like look to it, okay, by layering one on top of the other. And as you go, if you want to take a little piece of tape and attach them so that they don't keep coming out on you. So lay a couple in and then take a piece of tape, okay? Don't make the bend too tight, right? Don't make the curve too tight that then the bottom isn't lying flat anymore, okay? So that's what I kind of did right there. I made it hitch up. And we'll make corrections to that at the end, but take a tiny piece of tape and kind of connect the two neighboring segments. And as you work around, you can keep adding that so they don't keep falling apart on you, which can get a little bit frustrating, okay? So work your way around, add a little piece of tape, layer another segment, add a tiny piece of tape, okay? Work your way around to get the curve nicely fanned on top of one another. If there's too much friction at this stage because it's getting hung up on the fan segments, then it will not flow all the way to the end. The marble will get stopped, okay? So you want to create a fan-shaped U like this. Now you can feel along the bottom, right? There's going to be some friction. If you have some places where you feel like the fans are going to create a lot of friction for your marble, you can go ahead and put a piece of tape where the two segments join, and then this will help prevent that from happening. It's most likely to occur in here at the juncture between the loop and the curve, so you may go ahead and add a little bit there. The way you can test if it's getting hung up is simply to run your marble down. So put it in there. Oh, so you can see mine got hung up right here. So I want to go ahead and make sure that it's nice and smooth along this particular part of my track. Okay, so you want to go ahead and Feel around on the inside to make sure it's not getting hung up in any way. Okay, so I need to push mine down a little bit more. Got a little bit further that time. Okay, and keep working to create a nice smooth track on the inside that your marble is not going to get hung up on, right? So if your marble does not make it all the way to the end, it means you need to go through and find where those friction pieces are. Okay, what is causing the friction for your marble as it moves through the track? Okay, so go ahead, and when you're all done, you should have a structure that looks just like this, or something very similar, right? So your hill, your loop, and your curve in which your marble will make its exit. You did have a couple extra pieces. If you want, you can add them to this basic format. You can add additional supports. You can make it taller. Remember, if you're going to try and add a second loop, you're going to need to add more gravitational potential energy to the system in order for it to have then enough kinetic energy to carry it all the way through to the end of the roller coaster. So adding a second curve is fun and a cool idea to do, but you will need to increase the height of your roller coaster in order to make that happen. So once again, you do have a couple extra pieces, but if you want to print off more, I have put the templates up on the website as well, so you can go ahead and do that. And so have fun making your roller coaster and running your roller coaster and expanding your roller coaster.